What's up guys, Zero back again with another video. So today I'm going to be reviewing the closed beta on Paladins. So the Paladins is developed by Hi-Res Studio, the people that make Smite. This game is a MOBA mixed with an FPS combat system and also has like a card-based leveling up system, which I'll explain more in depth later on. So I play the hell out of this game and it's really fun. I have a lot of interesting thoughts on it, so I'll be going over the basis of the game, then I'll go over some things I didn't like, some things I did like, and then my overall feedback towards the end of the video. So the basis of the game is that there's only one mode out right now as far as in the beta, where it's pretty much a siege engine spawns at certain points in the map. The first team to capture that point, obviously your team is going to be fighting over that point with the other team, so the first team to capture it will get a siege engine to charge at the other team's base, and each team base has 3 walls. The first team to knock down successfully the other team's 3 walls wins. So it's a pretty, easy understanding of the game mode, and I think that's all they have right now. They do have another game mode that's locked in the beta that you can't access right now, but anyways, the game mode itself is pretty easy to understand, and it's a pretty straightforward concept. So I will go ahead and start giving you guys the things I didn't like first. So first thing that I didn't like was the maps sometimes felt too big. Now I think there's 2 maps in the beta, I could be wrong, but I only got 2 maps in the rotation, and sometimes I felt like the other team had an advantage as far as like where they would spawn and how close they were to the capture point. So I think they should either fix that or maybe just add like little routes or something like that, just because it felt like sometimes the other team had an unfair advantage. So next thing is I feel like a lot of the close range heroes are at a disadvantage just because the maps are really big, like I said. So I feel like they need to either add more structures or buildings into the map just to justify those close range heroes even being in the game at all. Also, there were a few characters in my opinion that felt either underpowered or overpowered. There were just some characters that I felt needed to be tweaked to make them more powerful, or some characters that I felt didn't dish out enough damage. So I would love for the devs to sit down and actually look at each hero and champion, or whatever you guys want to call them, paladins even, individually, and see what they can do to balance each one fairly, because it feels like some of them just didn't dish out enough damage when they needed to, and some of them dished out too much damage. So a balance change would be kind of nice. So next thing I didn't really like was the card system. Now I do like the card system as a whole, but there are a few things that I found wrong with it. So the way the card system works is you get 3 random cards each level that you get, and the thing is that I felt some of the cards were just very unnecessary, or some cards were just really overpowered that gave you too much damage or too much lifesteal, just something that was just too good of a thing for like one level, or at least an early level, to get. So I think they need to do balancing with the game and just basically look individually at each card and each hero and basically think what this card will do to this hero as far as how it will affect them in the game. So the card system needs a little bit more explanation as well. I feel like the card system is a little bit different. The crafting system is a little bit odd also, so I think they need to do a little bit more explanation as far as how it works and how it works in different game modes towards each different player and different characters and stuff like that. So I think a better explanation of the card system overall would be really nice, like a tutorial when you enter the game. Next is I feel like there needs to be a penalty for people that either AFK in-game or dodge the queue, just because I feel like I run into so many people that just sit in the game and don't do anything, to the point where it annoys me, and then my team ends up losing the game just because they weren't even doing anything the whole game. So if there was a way to report players or whatever if they would AFK too much or dodge queue, then that'd be a really good thing, just because I feel like it's unfair. I feel like they need to do some penalizing of some sort just to basically make sure that you have a good time in the game and no one's really fucking it up. So there's that. Now for things I did like, the game itself is really fun. I stayed up late for hours playing just tons of rounds of this game. It really kept me going. And next thing I really did like is a lot of the characters are actually really unique. None of the characters really sound the same or interact with other characters the same, so I feel like a lot of the characters have their own personalities, and I really do like that. Next is the game is really simple. The game is really simple. Like I said, I explained the game mode to you guys, and then the premise and the interface of the game is really simple also. It's a super straightforward thing. Other than the card crafting and card system, everything else is really simple and really easy to understand, and it's really nice just not having to go through like tons of settings and menus to get to a game, which I really do like. Next thing is actually kind of weird, but something that I noticed while I was playing. I never raised, even when I went on insane losing streaks. I never really felt like I was pissed off. I was always having fun in the game, which I really think is something really cool about the game. Next thing that I actually did like was the card system. Now, even though it was one of the things I didn't like, I do like it because it's interesting and adds a new level of gameplay into the games. So it makes it not just about your gameplay, but also how you build a deck and how you collect your cards, just to make sure that you aren't, base yourself on only how good your cards are or only how good your gameplay is. It combines the two, your cards and your level of gameplay, together to overall make a good player. So now for my feedback. In my opinion, this is a great game. Now, a lot of people will compare this to Overwatch. However, I feel like this game has a lot more to offer than Overwatch, in my opinion at least. Now, since this is in closed beta, I feel like there's a lot more things that are going to be changing, which obviously there are. I feel like a lot of things such as balancing and tweaks to certain cards would be really beneficial to the game, as well as tweaks to some of the heroes would do really well. I hope this game does not go pay to win, being that you have to pay for good cards, because then I'll just make it really bad and unfair. And so these are the developers of Smite, like I said, and I do trust these developers to make a fair and balanced first-person MOBA. Overall, I really did enjoy this game a ton. I will be continuing the beta as long as it goes, and I will be downloading the game as soon as it drops. The game is going to end up being free to play when it comes out, and being that this beta is a beta, I will not be giving this game a grade or a out of 10 score or anything, just because it's not a finished game and I don't want to give a score on an unfinished product. So if you guys want a full in-depth review of this game when it does launch, definitely definitely leave a comment below. I'll be dropping that pretty soon. If you guys want live gameplays or any gameplays overall on Paladins or commentaries over a gameplay on Paladins, I will definitely be down for that. So comment below what you guys thought about this video. I'll be back with some more in the next coming days, weeks, or months. I don't know. I'm out. Peace.